Welcome to Monk's Temple. I am truly, genuinely glad you are here with me now, in this moment, choosing to listen, to explore, to perhaps find a different way of being with the whirlwind that life can sometimes become. I want you to know, right from this very first word, that you are not broken. You are not defective. The anxiety you feel, the stress, the relentless mental chatter, the exhaustion that feels bone deep, these are not signs of a personal failing. They are, in many ways, the entirely understandable, human reactions to living in a world that moves at a speed for which our nervous systems were never designed. We are ancient souls with Paleolithic brains and medieval hearts, trying to navigate a digital, hyper-connected, information-saturated 21st century. It's no wonder we sometimes feel overwhelmed. It's no wonder we sometimes feel like we're drowning in the shallow end of a pool of our own obligations. So take a breath. A real one. Not a shallow sip of air trapped high in your chest, but a deep, nourishing breath that fills your lungs, expands your belly, and then releases with a soft, surrendering sigh. Do that now. I'll wait. In and out. Good. You've already begun. That conscious breath, that tiny act of agency over your own inner state, is the first stone on the path we'll walk together. For the next while, we are going to embark on a journey. But it's not a journey to a distant land. You won't need a passport or a suitcase. The journey is inward. It's a journey of homecoming. A return to a place of stability, peace, and clarity that has been within you all along, but which has been obscured by layers of habit, conditioning, and the frantic noise of modern life. This is not about adding more techniques, more rules, more things you should be doing. This is, in fact, about subtraction. It's about learning to let go of the things that aren't serving you. The compulsive thinking, the resistance to what is, the war with your own emotions, the identification with every passing mental weather pattern as if it defines your entire sky. We are going to learn, step by gentle step, how to clear away that noise so you can hear the quiet, wise, and profoundly steady signal of your own true nature. Let me be unequivocally clear about what this path offers, and what it does not. Buddhism, and the practical wisdom we'll draw from it, does not promise you a life free from difficulty. It will not build an invisible bubble around you that repels all stress, all fear, all sadness, all loss. If anyone sells you that promise, turn and walk away, for they are offering a spiritual bypass, a fantasy that will ultimately collapse under the weight of real human experience. What Buddhism offers is something far more real, far more durable, and infinitely more empowering. It offers you a transformed relationship with difficulty itself. You will still feel the clutch in your chest when uncertainty looms. You will still notice the tension creep into your shoulders when a deadline approaches. You will still experience the ache of grief when you lose someone you love, or the sting of betrayal, or the fog of disappointment. These are the colors on the palette of a human life. To be human is to feel them. But here is what changes, and this change changes everything. These experiences will no longer be your master. They will no longer define you. They will no longer have the power to pull you entirely into their story and make you believe that story is the only reality. Instead, you will learn to meet them as a wise, compassionate adult meets a distressed child, not by becoming the distress yourself, but by holding space for it, understanding it, and offering it care until it passes. And it will pass. Everything does. This is the core of the freedom we are exploring, the freedom to feel everything without being destroyed by any of it. To understand how this is possible, we need to start with a fundamental reorientation. We need to shift from living in the content of our experience to resting in the context of our awareness. Right now, your reality is likely dominated by content, your thoughts about the past, your worries about the future, your judgments about yourself, your reactions to the world. It's a crowded, noisy, often painful room. The context is the room itself, the silent, spacious awareness in which all of this content arises, plays out, and dissolves. You are not the furniture in the room, nor the arguments happening in the corner. You are the room. The room is not damaged by what happens within it. It holds it all. Our practice is to remember we are the room. This remembering begins with what I call the sacred pause. In a world that valorizes constant motion, the pause is a radical act of rebellion. It is the deliberate insertion of a comma into the run-on sentence of your busy life. It's not about meditating for an hour on a mountaintop, though that can be lovely. It's about micro-moments of intentional presence, scattered like seeds throughout your day. Before you take the first sip of your morning coffee, pause for 3 seconds. Feel the warmth of the mug. Smell the aroma. See the swirl of steam. Be there, fully, for that one sip. Before you open the door to your workplace or your home, pause. Place your hand on the doorknob. Feel your feet on the ground. Take one complete breath. Cross the threshold with consciousness, not just with your body but with your whole being. Before you speak in a heated moment, pause. Feel the words forming like clouds in your mind. Choose them, don't just eject them. These sacred pauses are neurological reset buttons. They interrupt the automatic pilot of reaction and create a tiny gap, a gap in which choice becomes possible. In that gap, your freedom lives. Let's practice the foundational sacred pause right now. I call it the triangulated grounding. It uses 3 anchors in your present moment experience to steady you. First, feel your hands. Wherever they are, resting on your knees, holding a phone, typing. Don't move them. Just bring the spotlight of your attention to them. Feel the aliveness there. The temperature. The texture. The subtle pulse of blood. Your hands have touched so much life, held other hands, prepared food, created, comforted. For just 10 seconds, let your world be the universe of sensation contained in your 2 hands. Now, feel your seat. The points of contact where your body meets the chair, the floor, the earth. Feel the solid, reliable support beneath you. Notice the pressure, the shape, the stability. For these moments, let go of any muscular effort to hold yourself up. Imagine the ground is rising up to hold you. Surrender your weight to it completely. Be held. Now, follow your breath. Not to control it, but to witness its natural intelligence. Feel the cool air entering your nostrils or mouth. Feel your chest and belly gently expand. Feel the warm air leaving on the exhale. Notice the little pause at the end of the exhale, a moment of perfect rest. Follow 2 more breath cycles, just being the interested observer of this life-sustaining rhythm. Now, hold all 3 together in your awareness: the alive hands, the supported seat, the rhythmic breath. This triangle is your portable sanctuary. It exists outside of time, outside of story. It is the reality of your existence in the eternal now. Rest here for 30 seconds. When your mind wanders, and it will, to a memory, a plan, a sound, gently acknowledge it, and guide your attention back to one point of the triangle: the feeling in your hands, the support of your seat, or the flow of your breath. This act of gentle returning is the essence of the practice. It is not about achieving emptiness, it is about cultivating a faithful, compassionate attention that knows how to come home. Gently release the formal focus. How do you feel? Perhaps a slight sense of settling, of being more here. Perhaps not. It doesn't matter. The value was in the doing, in the intentional redirecting of your attention from the whirlwind of thought to the stillness of sensation. You have just planted a flag in the present moment. You have claimed a piece of inner territory. And you can do this anytime. In a tense meeting, in traffic, in the middle of an argument, in the grip of panic. Hands. Seat. Breath. The triangulated grounding. Your secret anchor in any storm. But why is this so hard? Why does our attention flee the present moment so relentlessly? To understand this, we need to look at the modern condition, a condition I call the trance of velocity. We live in a culture that worships speed. Faster internet, faster shipping, faster career progression, faster responses. We have confused velocity with vitality, busyness with purpose. This trance is not accidental, it is economically and socially engineered. Social media platforms are designed with variable reward schedules, exactly like slot machines, to keep you scrolling in a state of craving. News cycles amplify threat and outrage to hijack your limbic system. Work cultures glorify hustle and burnout as badges of honor. You have been systematically trained to abandon your own internal rhythm for a frenetic, external drumbeat. The cost of this is neurological. When you live in constant task switching, partial attention, and low-grade urgency, your nervous system never gets the signal to downshift from fight or flight, sympathetic arousal, into rest and digest, parasympathetic calm. You exist in a chronic state of somatic anxiety. Your body is literally braced for a threat that is cognitive, not physical. The thought, "I might miss that deadline," triggers the same cortisol cascade as, "There is a tiger in this room." Your body doesn't know the difference. So you are essentially running from tigers all day long. No wonder you're exhausted. No wonder you can't relax even when you have time. Your nervous system has forgotten what safety feels like. A powerful story that illuminates this comes from an unlikely source, the world of deep-sea diving. There was a documentary team filming the coral reefs in the South Pacific. One diver, a woman named Anika, was an expert. But on this dive, her equipment malfunctioned. Her regulator began to free flow, blasting air uncontrollably and rapidly emptying her tank. The primal panic response ignited, her heart shot into her throat, her vision tunneled, her mind screamed surface now. To bolt for the surface from that depth would mean certain death from decompression sickness, the bends. In that terrifying moment, her training overrode her panic. The first rule of diving emergency: stop. Breathe. Think. Act. She forced herself to go utterly still. She hovered in the blue void, ignoring the screaming of her instincts. She took one deliberate, slow breath from the failing regulator. Then another. In that stillness, a solution arose. She remembered her backup regulator. She switched to it, signaled her buddy, and began a slow, controlled ascent. Her life was saved not by frantic action, but by the radical, counterinstinctual decision to become still. The trance of velocity is like that malfunctioning regulator. It blasts you with mental air, depleting your resources, screaming at you to act now. The practice of the sacred pause is that training that says, stop. Breathe. Think. Then act. Your stillness is not inertia, it is the precondition for wise and saving action. Our first major exploration on this path is perhaps the most important one, making friends with the body. For most of us living in the trance of velocity, the body has become a forgotten kingdom. We treat it as a vehicle, an appliance, an image to be critiqued, or a problem to be solved. We live from the neck up, in a swirling cloud of abstraction, while the rich, intelligent, feeling reality of our physical being is ignored until it screams in pain or illness. This is a profound disconnection, and it is a primary source of anxiety. Why? Because anxiety is a full-body conversation that your thinking mind overhears and misunderstands. The process often goes like this: a trigger occurs, a critical email, a worrying thought, a memory. Instantly, before you're even consciously aware of it, your body reacts. Your amygdala, the brain's alarm bell, sends a distress signal. Your heart rate increases. Your breath becomes shallow. Muscles tense, particularly in the shoulders, jaw, and gut. Digestion slows. This is the body's ancient, intelligent preparation for threat. Then, your thinking mind, like a translator trying to make sense of a foreign alarm, rushes in. It scans the environment and your memory for a reason. It constructs a story: my boss is angry. I'm going to be fired. I'll be destitute. This story feels true because it is built on the very real physical evidence of your body's alarm state. The story then amplifies the alarm, which makes the story feel even more true. It's a closed, self-reinforcing loop of suffering. The way out of this loop is not to start by arguing with the mind's catastrophic story. That's like trying to reason with a smoke alarm by yelling at it. You must first address the smoke, the bodily sensation. You must learn the language of your body. In Buddhism, this is called kayagata sati, mindfulness of the body. It's the practice of bringing a gentle, curious, non-judgmental attention to physical sensation. Your body speaks in whispers long before it needs to scream. That tightness between your shoulder blades, that's likely the weight of responsibility you carry without asking for help. The constant clenching in your jaw, those are words unspoken, truths swallowed. The knot in your stomach, that's intuition you've overridden, or fear you haven't acknowledged. To ignore these whispers is a form of self-abandonment. To listen to them is the beginning of self-compassion and deep wisdom. Let's begin this friendship with a practice called the body scan. This is not a medical procedure, it's a tour of your own inner landscape, conducted with the curiosity of an explorer. Find a comfortable position, sitting or lying down. Close your eyes if it feels safe. Begin by taking 3 deep, softening breaths, letting each exhale release tension. Bring your attention to the crown of your head. Just notice any sensations there. Tingling, temperature, pressure, or perhaps nothing at all. Just notice. Slowly move your attention down to your forehead, your eyes, your cheeks, your jaw. Is there holding here? Soften your jaw just a millimeter. Let your tongue rest comfortably. Relax the muscles around your eyes. Move to your neck and throat, a common repository for unexpressed emotion. Offer it a breath of awareness. Now to your shoulders. These remarkable joints so often carry the weight of the world. See if you can let them drop, just a little, away from your ears. Imagine your breath flowing into them, creating space. Down your arms, to your elbows, wrists, hands, and fingers. Feel the aliveness all the way to your fingertips. Bring your attention to your chest, your heart center. Notice the rise and fall with your breath. Any tightness, guarding, or openness here. Just observe. Move to your belly, your solar plexus, the core of your gut feelings. This area is deeply connected to your sense of safety and power. Breathe into it gently. To your lower back, hips, and pelvis, your center of gravity and creativity. Feel the support from beneath. Down through your thighs, knees, calves, ankles, feet, and all the way to the tips of your toes. Feel their connection to the earth. Now, take a moment to feel the body as a whole, breathing, pulsing, alive. A unified field of intelligent sensation. This is you, in this moment. Not the story of you, but the living reality of you. Rest in this felt sense for a minute. When you do this, you are performing a miracle of integration. You are collecting your scattered awareness, which is usually lost in thoughts of past and future, and bringing it home to the present moment reality of your physical being. You are telling your nervous system, through the direct language of attention, I am here. I am listening. We are safe. This simple act can be more calming than any drug, because it addresses the root of the anxiety signal at its source. I want to share a story about a man named Leo, a former military pilot turned commercial airline captain. For years, His anxiety was managed through strict control, checklists, and the authority of his role. But after a particularly harrowing mid-air incident, a bird strike that took out an engine, the controlled anxiety metastasized into full-blown panic attacks on the ground. He felt a terrifying loss of control. In therapy, he was introduced to body scanning. At first, he hated it. It felt passive, weak. But his therapist, wise to his temperament, reframed it. "Think of it as a pre-flight check," she said. "But for your inner cockpit. You're not looking for problems to fix, you're just gathering data. What's the current status of your systems?" This clicked for Leo. He began doing a quick systems check multiple times a day. Engine 1, breath. Rate is high but functional. Engine 2, heart. Beating fast but steady. Flight controls, muscles. Shoulders tense, jaw locked. Navigation, mind. Spinning in circles. Just naming the system status, without trying to immediately correct it, created a critical detachment. He was no longer in the panic, he was observing the panic's effects on his systems. This observational distance was the crack that let the light in. Over time, his systems checks became less about crisis and more about maintenance. He had learned to befriend the instrument panel of his own body. The most fundamental, always available anchor in the body is, of course, the breath. In Pali, the language of the earliest Buddhist texts, the practice is anapanasati, mindfulness of in-breath and out-breath. It's considered the cornerstone of meditation for a profound reason. The breath is the intersection of the voluntary and involuntary. You can't directly order your heart to slow, but you can use your breath to invite calm, which then slows the heart. The breath is a direct dial to your vagus nerve, the main nerve of your parasympathetic rest and digest nervous system. Long, slow exhales, in particular, stimulate this nerve, triggering a relaxation response that lowers heart rate, blood pressure, and cortisol levels. It's not magic, it's physiology. Let's practice a simple but potent breath technique called coherent breathing, or resonance frequency breathing. The goal is to find a slow, rhythmic pace, typically around 5 breaths per minute, a 5-second inhale, 5-second exhale, that maximizes heart rate variability, a key marker of resilience and calm. Settle in. Place one hand on your chest and one on your belly. Inhale gently through your nose for a count of 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale slowly through your nose or pursed lips for a count of 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Continue this pattern for 2 minutes. If 5 seconds is too long, use 4. Find a slow, comfortable rhythm. The key is the even, smooth, extended exhale. Just focus on the count and the sensation. When your mind wanders, gently return to the count. Notice the shift. However subtle, you have just communicated directly with your autonomic nervous system and told it, the emergency is over. We can rest. This is a power you carry with you everywhere, for free, invisible to others. Your breath is your most loyal companion and your most potent medicine. Now, we must turn to the noisiest tenant in the house of your being, the thinking mind. If the body has been ignored, the mind has been unquestionably obeyed. We have fallen into what psychologist Stephen Hayes calls cognitive fusion, the state of being glued to our thoughts, believing them completely, treating every mental event as a command or a capital T truth. The mind is a wonderful servant but a terrible master. Untrained, it is what the Buddha vividly called a drunken monkey, leaping from branch to branch of memory, fantasy, and catastrophe, stung by the scorpion of fear. Modern neuroscience identifies a related brain network, the default mode network, DMN. It activates when you're not focused on a task, and its favorite activities are mind-wandering, self-referential thinking, and worrying about the past and future. Essentially, it's the brain's problem-creating mode when left unsupervised. The key to freedom is diffusion, learning to see thoughts as thoughts, not as reality. To create space between you and the mental chatter. Imagine you are sitting by a stream. The water flows by, carrying leaves, twigs, debris. Your thoughts are like those leaves. You have a choice. You can jump into the stream, grab onto a leaf labeled, "I'm a failure," and be carried away by its current, drowning in the story. Or, you can stay seated on the bank, watching the leaves float by. You can see the, "I'm a failure," leaf, acknowledge it, there's that thought again, and let it float on past without grabbing it. You are the awareness watching the stream, not the debris in the stream. A powerful diffusion technique is labeling. When you notice your mind has wandered into thought, silently give that mental activity a simple, categorical name. Planning. Worrying. Remembering. Judging. Fantasy. That's it. You're not analyzing the thought's content. You're just naming its type. This creates instant metacognitive distance. You shift from being the worry to observing the process of worrying. It engages the prefrontal cortex, the wise observer, and calms the amygdala, the alarm bell. Let's practice for 1 minute. Allow thoughts to come and go. Your only job is to label them as they arise. Feel the space that labeling creates. The thought doesn't disappear, but it loses its sticky, compelling quality. It becomes one event among many in your awareness, not the dictator of your reality. From this observational platform, we can ask a crucial question: is this a fact, or is this a story? The mind is a master storyteller. It takes a neutral fact and weaves an elaborate, emotionally charged narrative around it. Fact: my partner is quiet tonight. Story: they're angry with me. I did something wrong. The relationship is in trouble. Fact: I have a presentation tomorrow. Story: I'll mess it up. Everyone will see I'm a fraud. My career will be over. Fact: I feel a flutter of nervousness in my chest. Story: this anxiety is unbearable. It's going to get worse. There's something wrong with me. The story feels utterly real because it triggers the body's alarm, which then seems to confirm the story's truth. Breaking this loop requires pausing to separate the undeniable fact from the mental construction. The fact is usually small, simple, and manageable. The story is often vast, catastrophic, and paralyzing. You can learn to respond to the fact with clarity, while holding the story lightly, knowing it is just one possible interpretation, and usually the fear-based one. This leads us to one of the most practical and profound teachings in all of Buddhism, the two arrows. The Buddha said that in life, we are sometimes struck by an arrow. This is the first arrow. It is unavoidable pain. Physical illness, loss, disappointment, the initial sting of a harsh word, the sensation of anxiety in the body. It hurts. But then, he said, we usually shoot ourselves with a second arrow. This second arrow is our reaction to the first arrow, our resistance, our rage, our story about why this shouldn't be happening, our catastrophic projection of the future, our shame about being in pain. This is terrible. I can't handle this. Why me? This proves I'm unlovable. The second arrow is where the majority of our suffering is manufactured. The first arrow is life. The second arrow is optional. Your practice is to learn to feel the first arrow, the raw sensation of pain, fear, or anxiety, without automatically firing the second arrow of mental resistance and story. You learn to say, this is a moment of suffering. It is like this. You bring a compassionate curiosity to the bodily sensation of the first arrow, instead of fueling it with the mental narrative of the second. This is incredibly hard, but it is the very essence of freedom. Let's bring this to life with a story about a woman named Priya, a schoolteacher in Mumbai. Priya had a deep fear of public speaking, rooted in a childhood humiliation. Whenever she had to lead a parent-teacher conference, the first arrow would strike. The racing heart, the dry mouth, the trembling hands. Instantly, the second arrows would fly. They can see I'm shaking. They think I'm incompetent. I'm going to forget everything. I'll be exposed as a fraud and lose my job. The conference would become a hellscape of suffering. She learned about the two arrows. At her next conference, when the familiar panic began, she paused. She mentally said, first arrow, heart pounding, hands cold. She simply acknowledged the physical reality. Then she said, I choose not to fire the second arrow. She didn't try to stop the pounding heart. She just felt it, with a detached curiosity. Interesting, my heart is really going. I can feel it in my throat. Then, she deliberately placed her attention on her intention. I am here to share my care for their child. She focused on the love for her student, not on her own fear. The physical symptoms didn't vanish, but they became background noise to her foreground of purpose. The second arrow stories lost their power because she stopped feeding them with her attention. She reported it was the most present and connected conference she'd ever had. The first arrow was still there. The second arrow was holstered. The difference was everything. Now we come to the heart of the matter, both literally and figuratively, working with emotions. We've treated them as weather, as sensations, as parts of stories. but when you're in the grip of a powerful emotion. A rage, a crushing grief, a tidal wave of anxiety, it doesn't feel like weather. It feels like the end of the world. The Buddhist approach here is not to suppress or to indulge, but to contain and investigate. Think of yourself as a vast, clear, resilient mountain lake. Emotions are weather systems that move over the lake. A storm of anger can make the surface churn with huge, violent waves. A fog of sadness can make everything still and opaque. Sunshine of joy can make it sparkle. But the depth of the lake, its essential nature, remains unchanged. It holds all weather without being permanently altered by any of it. You are the lake. The practice is to identify with the depth, not with the surface weather. When a strong emotion arises, instead of being swept away by the surface waves, you can dive into the depth. You do this by turning toward the emotion with compassionate curiosity. This is the practice of metta, loving kindness, directed inward. You ask, gently, "What is this? Where do I feel you in my body? What do you need?" Let's practice with a common emotion, anxiety or restless worry. Close your eyes. Recall a mild to moderate anxiety. Don't pick your worst trauma, just a nagging worry. Now, locate it in your body. Where is the headquarters of this feeling? Chest, stomach, throat. Place a warm hand gently on that spot. Breathe into that area. Imagine your breath creating a little more space around the sensation. Now, ask silently, with the tone you'd use with a frightened child, "What do you need right now?" Listen. Don't think. Feel. The answer might be a word, safety. Rest. To be heard. It might be an image. Then, if you can, offer one small thing. If it needs safety, maybe you wrap your arms around yourself. If it needs to be heard, whisper, "I hear you." It's okay. This is not coddling, it is meeting a legitimate need with wisdom, which calms the nervous system. This practice of self-compassion is clinically validated. Dr. Kristen Neff's research shows that self-compassion is a far more powerful buffer against anxiety and depression than self-esteem, because it deactivates the threat system, which sees failure as a danger, and activates the mammalian caregiving system, which offers comfort and connection. But our work cannot stop with ourselves. The deepest healing and stability come from widening the circle of care. This is the practice of metta bhavana, the cultivation of loving kindness for all beings. It systematically breaks down the illusion of separateness that anxiety depends on. Anxiety makes your world very small, just you and your threat. Loving kindness expands your world to include all of life, connecting you to something larger than your personal story. Let's do a shortened version. Settle. Bring to mind your own face. Offer yourself these phrases, feeling their intention. May I be safe. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. Now, a benefactor, someone who has been kind to you. Offer them, may you be safe. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. A good friend. Offer the phrases. A neutral person, a checkout clerk, a neighbor. See their humanity. Offer the phrases. Now, a difficult person. Not your worst enemy, but someone who irritates you. Recognize their suffering. Wish, may you be free from anger. May you find peace. Finally, expand out. To all in your city, your country, this planet, may all beings be safe, be healthy, live with ease. This practice isn't about feeling mushy toward people you dislike. It's about recognizing the shared wish for happiness and freedom from suffering. It trains your heart in inclusivity, which is the antidote to the constriction of fear. All of these practices lead us to the ultimate, liberating insights, the 3 marks of existence. These are not beliefs, but observable truths about reality. 1. Anicca, impermanence. Everything that arises passes away. Every thought, every feeling, every sensation, every situation, every life. Your anxiety is not permanent. Your joy is not permanent. This body is not permanent. This truth, when fully realized, is not depressing, it is the great liberator. It means no state, no matter how painful, lasts forever. It means you can stop clinging so desperately to pleasant states and stop resisting so violently unpleasant ones. You can dance with the flow of change instead of being crushed by it. 2. Dukkha, unsatisfactoriness. Suffering arises when we cling to what is impermanent as if it were permanent, or when we resist what is happening as if we could make it not be so. The suffering is in the clinging and the resisting, not necessarily in the experience itself. 3. Anatta, not self. There is no permanent, unchanging, separate self to be found in this river of impermanent phenomena. What you call me is a temporary, dynamic process of body, mind, and conditions. This is the most profound insight. It means the anxious, flawed, solid self you worry about is also impermanent, insubstantial. It's a pattern, a habit, a story. And stories can be changed. Living from the understanding of these 3 marks is the culmination of the path. It is what allows you to build an inner citadel, an unshakable refuge that is not a place, but a way of being. The walls of this citadel are built from ethical living, causing minimal harm. The roof is wisdom, seeing things as they are. The hearth at the center is compassion, for yourself and all beings. And you are the space within it, aware, vast, and free. Your daily life becomes the practice ground. Washing dishes becomes mindfulness of water and movement. A difficult conversation becomes practice in deep listening and right speech. A moment of loss becomes practice in compassion and impermanence. You stop seeking special spiritual experiences and begin to see the sacred in the ordinary, the wisdom in the difficult, the peace in the pause. So, as we end our time together, I leave you with the Buddha's final, ultimate instruction to his students: be a lamp unto yourselves. Be your own refuge. Take no other refuge. The peace you seek has never been outside of you. It is the very nature of the awareness that is hearing these words. It has been covered over, forgotten, ignored, but never damaged, never lost. Your practice now is the daily return. It is the humble, heroic commitment to coming home to yourself, breath by breath, moment by moment. You will forget. You will get lost in the trance of velocity, fuse with a thought, become the storm on the lake. This is not failure. This is the material of the practice. The practice is in the loving notice, and in the gentle, uncompromising return. No shame. No drama. Just, I wandered. Welcome back. You have everything you need. The still point of the body. The observational power of the mind. The compassionate embrace of the heart. The liberating wisdom of impermanence. You are the lamp. You are the refuge. You have always been home. You just needed to remember how to see it. Walk gently. Be kind to yourself. The world needs your peace, because your peace becomes a sanctuary for others. Thank you for walking this path. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you live with ease, and may your heart be at peace. You have discovered the still point. You have touched the quiet, triangulated anchor of hands, seat, and breath, the field that exists beneath the frantic tower of your thoughts. You've taken the first, courageous step of stopping the momentum. But I know a question is forming. It's a natural one, perhaps tinged with a bit of desperation or skepticism. Okay, I can pause. I can find a moment of stillness. But then what? The world hasn't changed. My problems are still looming. The anxiety hasn't magically dissolved. What good is a pause in the face of a real crisis? This is where we move from technique to wisdom. From finding a moment of peace, to understanding the nature of the war that has been destroying your peace. The first and most crucial piece of this wisdom is what the Buddha called the first noble truth. It's often translated as, life is suffering, but that translation is a tragic oversimplification that leads to pessimism. A better translation, one that opens the door to freedom instead of slamming it shut, is, there is suffering. Or even more accurately, there is unease. There is dissatisfaction. There is stress. In Pali, the word is dukkha. Dukkha doesn't mean that life is only pain and misery. It means that life, by its very nature as an ever-changing, conditional, interconnected process, includes an inherent sense of friction, of things not lining up perfectly with our desires. It's the subtle hum of background anxiety. It's the feeling that something is slightly off, that you should be somewhere else, be someone else, have something more. It's the bone-deep exhaustion of trying to hold it all together. It's the sharp sting of loss, the ache of loneliness, the gnawing worry about the future. Dukkha is the first arrow. The first noble truth is not a judgment or a condemnation of life. It is a diagnosis. It is a compassionate, clear-eyed acknowledgement of the human condition. It's saying, look, this is part of the deal. To be alive, to be sensitive, to care about things, is to experience dukkha. This is not saying you are broken because you feel anxiety. It is saying you are awake. You are sensitive to the reality of an impermanent world. Your pain is not a sign of failure, it is a sign of your humanity, your capacity to feel. Why is this the first truth? Because until you fully acknowledge that suffering exists, in your own life, in a real and non-negotiable way, all your efforts to find peace will be forms of denial, of spiritual bypassing. You'll be trying to put a pretty curtain over a broken window, pretending the cold wind isn't there. The first noble truth asks you to stop pretending. It asks you to turn and face the broken window. To feel the cold air. To say, yes. It is cold in here. This is the current condition. This is where our culture's standard advice utterly fails us. It tells us to think positive, to just relax, to get over it. This is like telling someone with a broken leg to just walk it off. It's a form of violence. It adds a layer of shame and inadequacy on top of the original pain. Not only do I feel terrible, but I'm also failing at feeling better. This is the second arrow. The Buddha's path begins by ending this war. It starts with radical acceptance. There is pain here. Let me tell you a story about a farmer in the rural American Midwest. His name was Walter. Walter had spent his entire life in a war with the weather. He would rage against the droughts, despair over the early frosts, curse the hailstorms that flattened his wheat. His emotional state was a perfect barometer for the sky, and because the weather is fundamentally uncontrollable, he lived in a nearly constant state of frustration and anxiety. He was at war with reality itself. One spring, a devastating tornado swept through his county. It missed his farm by half a mile but utterly destroyed his neighbor's homestead. Walter, shaken, went over to help with the cleanup. His neighbor, an older man named Henry, was standing amidst the wreckage of his barn, calmly sipping a cup of coffee. Walter, expecting to find him in tears or fury, was stunned. "Henry," he said, "your life's work, it's gone. How are you so calm?" Henry looked out at the shattered timber and said, "I spent 40 years fighting the weather. Raging at the rain for being too little or too much. This tornado, it showed me I was never in the fight I thought I was." You can't fight the sky, Walter. You can only learn to read it, prepare for it, respect its power, and build a cellar for when it turns mean. The war wasn't with the weather. The war was in my head, thinking the weather owed me something different. Henry had, in that moment of total loss, understood the first noble truth. Suffering existed. The tornado was a fact. His prior suffering had come from his endless, futile war with the possibility of the tornado. His peace now came from no longer arguing with the reality of its aftermath. He was dealing with the broken wood, not with a broken idea of how the world should be. Your anxiety is often a form of this same war. You are at war with reality. With the reality of a difficult conversation that must be had. With the reality of a financial uncertainty. With the reality of your own limitations, your aging body, your unpredictable emotions. The thought, "This shouldn't be happening," is the battle cry of this war. And it is a war you can never, ever win, because reality is what it is. The suffering isn't in the difficult conversation, it's in the hours of mental rehearsal, catastrophic forecasting, and resistance leading up to it. The suffering isn't in the bank statement, it's in the storm of shame, panic, and future tripping that follows. The first noble truth invites you to lay down your weapons. To stop arguing with what is. This is not passivity. This is not resignation. This is the most strategic move possible. Think of a sailor in a storm. A foolish sailor spends all his energy shaking his fist at the waves, screaming, "This shouldn't be happening. The ocean is wrong." He exhausts himself and capsizes. A wise sailor first accepts the reality: there is a storm. The waves are high. The wind is strong. This acceptance clears his mind. Now he can use all his energy, all his skill, to actually navigate. To adjust the sails, to steer into the waves, to keep the boat afloat. Acceptance of the storm is what allows for effective action within the storm. The practice that flows from this first truth is the practice of acknowledgement. It is a simple, powerful mental phrase you can use the moment you feel the tightening grip of dukkha, anxiety, stress, sadness, anger. The phrase is, "This is a moment of suffering." Say it silently to yourself when you feel the clutch in your chest. This is a moment of suffering. When you catch yourself in a spiral of worry, this is a moment of suffering. When you are overcome with grief or loneliness, this is a moment of suffering. Do not say it with self-pity. Say it with the dignified clarity of a scientist naming a phenomenon. You are simply noting the truth of your present experience. You are applying the first noble truth directly to your lived reality. This does two things instantly. It validates your experience. It stops the second arrow of, "I shouldn't feel this way." It grants you permission to feel what you feel. This validation is profoundly calming to the nervous system. It creates a tiny but crucial gap between you and the experience. You are not just suffering. You are aware that a moment of suffering is present. You become the witness as well as the experience. This is the beginning of the separation from identification. After you acknowledge, you can add a second phrase, drawn from the teachings of Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh: suffering is a part of life. This connects your personal experience to the universal human condition. You are not alone in this. You are not uniquely cursed. You are participating in something every human who has ever lived has experienced. This connection dissolves the isolating loneliness of pain and replaces it with a sense of shared humanity. Let's practice this right now. Think of a minor, current irritation or worry. Not your deepest trauma, but a nagging stress, a messy kitchen, an unpaid bill, a lingering awkwardness from a conversation. Feel the unpleasant feeling that arises. Silently say to yourself, "This is a moment of suffering." Feel the factual, non-judgmental quality of that statement. Now, add, "Suffering is a part of life." Feel the expansion, the connection to all others who have felt this. Now, place a hand on your heart and take one soft, deep breath. Notice what happens. The issue hasn't vanished. But your relationship to the experience of suffering around that issue has shifted. You are no longer completely fused with it. You are relating to it with clarity and compassion, from the perspective of the first noble truth. This is the end of the war with what is. It is the foundation upon which all other peace is built. You cannot build a stable house on a foundation of denial. You must build on the solid, if sometimes hard, ground of truth. The truth is, sometimes, life is hard. Sometimes, you will be afraid. Sometimes, you will hurt. This is not your fault. It is the condition of having a heart that can care, a mind that can imagine, and a life that is subject to change. When you stop fighting this truth, an immense amount of energy is liberated. Energy that was previously spent on resistance, on clenching, on worrying, on mentally arguing, becomes available for something else, for clear seeing, for wise action, for genuine compassion. You move from being a combatant in a futile war to being a compassionate presence in the midst of life's inevitable difficulties. From this place of truthful acknowledgement, we can now ask the revolutionary question posed by the second noble truth: what is the cause of this suffering? The Buddha's answer: tanha. Thirst, craving, wanting things to be other than they are. Not just craving for pleasure, but craving for existence to be different. I wish I felt different. I wish they acted different. I wish this wasn't happening. This is the engine of the war. And from its ceasing, the third noble truth, comes peace. And there is a path to that ceasing, the fourth noble truth, which is what we are walking together. But it all starts here, with the courageous, compassionate act of turning toward your own suffering and saying, with utter honesty, yes. This is here. This is real. In that turning, the war ends. And in the ceasefire, you might just hear the quiet, long-forgotten sound of your own peace, waiting to be rediscovered. You have laid down the weapons of a futile war. You have made peace with the first noble truth, acknowledging the presence of dukkha. The stress, the unease, the inherent friction of life, not as a personal failure, but as a part of the shared human condition. This acknowledgement is your declaration of independence from a life spent arguing with reality. But wisdom, to be more than an intellectual idea, must be grounded. It must have roots in something tangible, something you can feel, something that is undeniably, always here. That something is your body. In our culture, and particularly in the experience of anxiety, we have become profoundly disembodied. We live from the neck up, in a swirling cloud of thoughts about the past and future. The body becomes an inconvenient appendage, a thing to be managed, criticized, fueled, and rested only when it screams in protest. We override its whispers of tiredness with caffeine, its signals of hunger with distraction, its aches with painkillers, and its emotional tremors with more thinking. We have committed a great act of self-abandonment. We have left the most faithful messenger we will ever have stranded outside the gates of our attention. But here is a truth that can change everything. Your anxiety is a full-body event that your thinking mind later tries to explain. The process is not thought first, but sensation first. It is neurological, not just psychological. A trigger, a memory, a worry, a loud noise, is processed by your amygdala, your brain's smoke alarm, in milliseconds. Before you have a single conscious thought, your body is mobilized, heart rate accelerates, breath becomes shallow and moves high into the chest, muscles brace, especially in the shoulders, jaw, and gut, digestion halts, palms may sweat. This is the ancient, intelligent fight-flight-freeze response. It is your body's heroic attempt to protect you. Then, your thinking mind, like a translator awakened by a clanging bell, rushes in. It scans the internal and external environment. Why is my heart racing? What's the threat? It grabs onto the most plausible story, my boss's email. He's angry. I'm in trouble. I'm going to fail. This story feels powerfully true because it is built upon the very real, physical evidence of your body's alarm state. The story then amplifies the alarm, which makes the story feel even more true. You are caught in a closed, self-reinforcing loop of suffering, sensation-catastrophic story-more intense sensation. The way out of this loop is not to start by arguing with the mind's catastrophic story. That is like trying to reason with a fire alarm by debating the chemical composition of smoke. You must first address the sensation, the smoke itself. You must learn the language of your body. In the Buddhist tradition, this is the practice of kayagata sati, mindfulness of the body. It is the foundational training of turning a gentle, curious, and non-judgmental attention to physical experience. Your body speaks in a vocabulary of sensation long before it resorts to the shouts of pain or illness. That tightness between your shoulder blades is the weight of responsibility you carry without asking for help. The clenching in your jaw holds all the words you haven't said, the truths you've swallowed. The knot in your stomach is often fear or intuition you have overridden with logic. The chronic neck pain might be the burden of looking in a direction you don't want to go, literally and metaphorically. To ignore these whispers is a form of self-neglect. To listen to them is the beginning of self-compassion and profound wisdom. Let us begin this re-education with a deep, guided exploration, the full body scan. This is not a medical procedure or a relaxation technique aimed at fixing something. It is a pilgrimage of attention through your own inner landscape. It is an act of coming home to yourself. Find a comfortable position, lying down or seated with your back supported. Allow your eyes to close gently. Take 3 deep, softening breaths. With each exhale, imagine you are releasing the day's tension, thought by thought, into the space around you. Bring your attention to the very crown of your head. Simply notice. Is there any sensation here? Tingling, warmth, coolness, pressure, or perhaps the simple feeling of presence? There is no right thing to feel. Your only job is to be curious. Now, slowly, like a gentle spotlight, move your attention down to your forehead. Feel the skin across your brow. Notice any subtle tension held here, the lines of worry or concentration. Imagine your breath could flow into this space, softening and smoothing. Move to your eyes. These miraculous organs of perception. Feel them resting in their sockets. Notice if you are holding them tightly closed or if they can relax behind their lids. Let the muscles around your eyes soften. Now, to your jaw. This is a fortress for most of us. Clenched by day, often still holding by night. Without forcing it open, invite your jaw to unclench. Let your teeth part slightly. Allow your tongue to rest comfortably on the floor of your mouth. Feel your throat and neck. The gateway of expression and nourishment. Notice if it feels tight, restricted, or open. Imagine your breath flowing easily down this passage. Bring your awareness to your shoulders. These remarkable joints are designed for mobility and bearing light loads, yet we hang the weight of the world upon them. See if you can consciously invite them to drop away from your ears, to release their burden even an inch. Feel the support of the surface beneath you taking the weight. Move down your arms. Feel the upper arms, the elbows, the forearms, the wrists. Sense the aliveness all the way to your hands. Your hands that have touched, created, comforted, and worked. Feel the palms, the fingers. Notice temperature, texture, a faint hum of energy. Now, bring your attention to the center of your chest, the area of your heart. Notice the rise and fall with your breath here. Is there a feeling of openness, of guarding, of tightness, of warmth? Place a hand there if it feels comforting. Breathe into this space, the seat of your deepest emotions. Move down to your solar plexus, just below the sternum. This is your center of power and gut instinct. Notice any sensations of butterflies, knots, tightness, or emptiness. Observe without judgment. Now to your belly, your lower abdomen. The center of digestion, creativity, and primal feeling. Feel it expand softly on the inhale, recede on the exhale. This area is often soft and vulnerable. Offer it a sense of safety with your attention. Bring awareness to your lower back, the small of your back. An area that often holds the stress of supporting everything above it. Imagine breathing into this space, creating length and ease. Feel your hips and pelvis, your literal center of gravity. This area stores deep emotions, creative energy, and often, trauma. Simply let your attention rest here, acknowledging its presence without needing to fix anything. Move down through your thighs, the powerful muscles that carry you through life. Your knees. Your calves. Your ankles. Finally, arrive at your feet. These miraculous structures that connect you to the earth with every step. Feel the soles of your feet, the toes, the arches. Sense their contact with your socks, shoes, or the floor. Imagine roots of awareness growing down from your feet, connecting you to the stable, nurturing earth below. Now, take a moment to feel your body as a single, unified field of sensation. A breathing, pulsing, alive whole. Not a collection of parts, but one intelligent organism. Rest in this felt sense of wholeness for a full minute. Let your awareness be wide and inclusive, holding the entire body in a gentle embrace. When you practice this, you are performing a profound act of neural integration. You are collecting your scattered, time-traveling consciousness and bringing it home to the eternal present of physical sensation. You are sending a direct message to your amygdala: I am here. I am paying attention. We are safe enough to feel. This is why body scans can be more calming than a sedative for anxiety. They address the physiological root of the alarm signal. I want to share with you the story of Daniel, a concert cellist in Vienna. For Daniel, anxiety was not a vague feeling, it was a precise enemy that attacked his instrument, his hands. In the days leading up to a major performance, a tremor would begin in his right hand, the bow hand. The more he focused on stopping the tremor, the worse it became. He was trapped in a cycle of fear. His teacher, an elderly maestro who had played for kings and survived a war, saw his struggle. He didn't give him a new technical exercise. He gave him a strange instruction: for 1 hour today, you will not touch your cello. You will sit and you will feel your hands. Baffled, Daniel tried. He sat in a quiet room and simply placed his attention on his hands. At first, he felt only the tremor, which frustrated him. But as he persisted, he began to feel more. The warmth of his palms, the fine lines on his skin, the subtle pulse of blood, a deep ache of exhaustion in the muscles, and beneath it all, a profound sadness he hadn't acknowledged, the pressure of his family's legacy, the loneliness of constant travel. He wasn't just feeling a tremor, he was feeling the accumulated story of his life held in his hands. He began to do this daily, not to fix the tremor, but to befriend his hands. He would thank them for their service. He would massage them with care. The tremor didn't vanish overnight, but its meaning changed. It was no longer a terrifying symptom of impending failure, it became a signal, a communication from his body saying, I am carrying too much. On the day of his next big performance, as he felt the familiar flutter begin, he didn't panic. He paused backstage, placed his hands on his chest, and took 3 breaths, feeling their warmth and aliveness. He walked on stage not with perfectly still hands, but with hands he knew, hands he had compassion for. He played, he said, not from a place of fear, but from a conversation with his own body. It was the most connected performance of his life. Daniel's story shows us that the body is not the site of the problem, it is the source of the intelligence we need to solve it. Your anxiety is not a flaw in your body's software, it is your body's intelligent, if overzealous, attempt to protect you. By listening to its language, the language of sensation, you can decode the message and respond with wisdom, not panic. From this foundation of whole-body awareness, we can now focus on the most powerful, portable tool in your somatic toolkit, the breath. Your breath is the bridge between the conscious and unconscious mind, between the voluntary and autonomic nervous systems. It is the only bodily function you can both observe and influence with ease. The practice of anapanasati. Mindfulness of breathing is therefore not a cliché, but a master key. Breathing is not just about gas exchange. The rhythm, depth, and location of your breath send direct signals to your brain about your state of safety. Chest breathing is associated with stress and alertness. Diaphragmatic breathing, deep, slow breaths that make the belly rise. Stimulates the vagus nerve, the command center of your parasympathetic rest and digest system, triggering a cascade of calming physiological responses. Let's learn a specific, science-backed breathing practice called coherent breathing or resonance frequency breathing. The goal is to find a slow, rhythmic pace, typically 5 to 6 breaths per minute, that maximizes heart rate variability, HRV, a key metric of your nervous system's resilience and flexibility. A high HRV is associated with calm, focus, and emotional regulation. Settle in. You can place one hand on your chest and one on your belly to feel the movement. We will breathe in for a count of 5, and out for a count of 5. If 5 is too long, use 4. If it's too short, use 6. Find a slow, comfortable rhythm. Inhale gently through your nose, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale slowly and smoothly through your nose or pursed lips, 2, 3, 4, 5. Continue this pattern. Let the breath be effortless. The count is just a gentle guide. Focus on the smoothness of the wave, the gentle swell of the inhale, the gradual release of the exhale. The exhale is particularly important for calming. Let it be a little longer than the inhale if you can. Practice this for 2 minutes. Your mind will wander. When you notice, gently return to the count and the sensation. Notice the shift. Even a few minutes of this rhythmic breathing can lower your blood pressure, reduce cortisol, and quiet mental chatter. You have just used your body's own mechanics to send a telegram of safety to your brain. Now, we integrate this into a daily life practice I call SOBR response. This is a protocol for the moment anxiety strikes, pulling together body, breath, and the wisdom of the first noble truth. S. Stop. Freeze. Halt all physical and mental forward momentum. O. Observe. What is happening in my body right now? E.g., tightness in chest, shallow breath. What is happening in my mind? E.g., thought, I can't handle this. B. Breathe. Take one deep coherent breath, in for 5, out for 5. E. Expand. Widen your awareness from the localized sensation. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel the space around you. Remember the first noble truth, this is a moment of suffering. It is part of life. R. Respond. Now, from this calmer, more integrated state, choose your next action. It might be to take another breath. It might be to speak. It might be to walk away. But it is now a response, not a reaction. Your body is your compass. Its sensations are the needle, pointing always to the truth of your present moment experience. Anxiety is not the compass breaking, it is the compass pointing wildly, asking you to stop and check your map. The map is your awareness. The practice is to stop, look at the compass, feel the sensation, consult the map, your wise, present moment awareness, and then choose your direction from a place of orientation, not panic. You are learning to live not above your body, but within it. To inhabit it as a wise, feeling friend, not as a troublesome vehicle. When you do, you find that the still point is not somewhere outside. It is the constant, rhythmic, intelligent presence of the life force within you. It is the breath in your lungs, the beat of your heart, the hum of sensation in your hands. You are coming home to the only place you have ever truly lived, here, in this body, now. You have built a home in the body. You can feel the solid ground of sensation beneath your feet, the rhythmic anchor of the breath in your chest. You have learned the language of your internal compass. This is a monumental achievement. But now, we must turn to the weather that plays across this landscape of self. We must turn to the mind. For even with feet firmly planted, if a hurricane of thought is raging in your head, peace remains a distant concept. Most of us live under a profound and unchallenged assumption: I am my thoughts. When a thought arises, I'm not good enough, this is going to be a disaster, what's wrong with me? We don't hear it as a neural event, a transient firing of synapses. We hear it as a truth, a command, a revelation about the nature of reality and our place within it. We fuse with it. This is what psychologist Stephen Hayes calls cognitive fusion. The thought, I am anxious, becomes the reality of being an anxious person. The thought, I can't handle this, becomes a prophecy we feel compelled to fulfill. The untrained mind, as the Buddha described over 2,500 years ago, is like a drunken monkey, stung by a scorpion, leaping wildly from branch to branch. One moment it's on the branch of a memory from 10 years ago, cringing at an embarrassment. The next, it's on the branch of a future fantasy of success. Then it's on the branch of a catastrophic, what if, about your health. It is restless, agitated, and utterly convinced that every branch it lands on is the most important place in the forest. Modern neuroscience gives this monkey a network name, the default mode network, DMN. This cluster of brain regions activates when you're not focused on a task. Its primary functions: mind-wandering, self-referential thinking, the me story, and projecting into the past or future. For many, the DMN is not a neutral idol, it's a factory of suffering, churning out worries, regrets, and judgments on a loop. Your anxiety is not just a feeling, it is a thought-fueled process. A trigger creates a bodily sensation, first arrow. The mind, detecting this alarm signal, immediately generates thoughts to explain it. Why is my heart racing? Oh no, it must be because of X. And X means Y will happen. And Y is catastrophic. Each thought is like a log thrown on a fire, intensifying the bodily alarm, which inspires more catastrophic thoughts. You are no longer just feeling anxiety, you are in a relationship with your anxious thoughts, a relationship of belief and obedience. The path to freedom, then, is not to stop the thoughts, an impossible task that creates more tension, but to change this relationship. It is to move from fusion to diffusion. To see thoughts as thoughts, not as reality. To hear the statement, I am a failure, not as a truth broadcast by the universe, but as a sentence being generated by the thought machine called your mind. You are not the machine. You are the awareness that can hear the machine running. Imagine yourself sitting in a vast, clear, open sky. This sky is your awareness, spacious, silent, and unchanging. Now, clouds begin to form. Some are dark and stormy, thoughts of worry. Some are white and fluffy, thoughts of pleasure. Some are wispy and quickly pass, random thoughts. The clouds are your thoughts. They appear, they change shape, they drift, they dissolve. The practice is to rest as the sky, not to become the clouds. The sky does not fight the storm clouds. It does not cling to the beautiful sunset clouds. It simply holds them, provides space for them, and remains fundamentally unchanged by their passing. You are the sky. Your thoughts and feelings are the weather. How do we cultivate this sky-like awareness? We build an observatory. A place of calm, detached curiosity from which to watch the meteorological patterns of the mind. The foundational tool of the observatory is labeling. This is deceptively simple but neurologically powerful. When you notice you've been caught in thought, you gently, silently, name the category of mental activity. Planning. Worrying. Remembering. Judging. Fantasy. Analyzing. You are not judging the thought as good or bad. You are not analyzing its content. You are simply applying a descriptive tag, like a naturalist noting a bird species. This act of labeling creates instant metacognitive distance. It shifts activity from the emotional limbic brain, the storm, to the prefrontal cortex, the observatory. Studies using fMRI scans show that simply labeling an emotion like fear reduces activity in the amygdala, the brain's fear center. Let's practice for 2 minutes. Settle. Allow thoughts to come and go. Your only task is to notice a thought and label it. Feel the space that opens up. The thought doesn't disappear, but it loses its sticky, compelling gravity. It becomes an object in your awareness, not the master of it. From the observatory, with the tool of labeling, we can now investigate a critical question: is this a fact, or is this a story? The mind is a masterful, if often fear-based, storyteller. It takes a neutral fact and weaves an elaborate, emotionally charged narrative. Fact: my heart is beating fast. Story: I'm having a heart attack. I'm going to die. Fact: my boss didn't say hello this morning. Story: she's angry with me. I'm going to be fired. My career is over. Fact: I made a mistake. Story: I'm incompetent. I always mess up. I'll never succeed. The story feels overwhelmingly real because it triggers a physiological stress response that seems to confirm it. Breaking this loop requires the forensic skill of separating the undeniable, observable fact from the mental construction built upon it. The fact is usually small, concrete, and manageable. The story is vast, abstract, and paralyzing. You can learn to respond to the fact with clarity while holding the story lightly, knowing it is just one possible interpretation, and usually the most fear-filled one. To deepen this, we engage a classic Buddhist teaching, the 2 arrows. The Buddha said when we experience pain, it is like being struck by an arrow. This is the first arrow, the unavoidable pain of life, physical illness, loss, the initial sting of criticism, the raw sensation of anxiety in the body. It hurts. But then, he said, we usually shoot ourselves with a second arrow. This is our reaction to the first arrow, our mental resistance, our rage, our story about why this shouldn't be happening, our catastrophic projection of the future. This is unbearable. Why me? This proves I'm unlovable. It's always going to be like this. The second arrow is where we manufacture the majority of our suffering. The first arrow is life. The second arrow is optional. Your practice is to learn to feel the sting of the first arrow, the raw sensation, without automatically reaching for the quiver to fire the second arrow of mental commentary and story. You learn to say, ouch. That hurts. This is a moment of pain. And then you breathe. You don't add, and my life is ruined. I want to tell you about a man named Ben, a high-stakes poker player in Las Vegas. In Ben's world, anxiety wasn't a pathology, it was the background music. But he had a tell, a physical giveaway when he had a bad hand, a slight tremor in his left pinky finger. For years, when he felt that tremor, the second arrows would fly, they see it. You're exposed. You're going to lose this huge pot. You're a fraud. The anxiety would snowball, affecting his decisions, often causing him to lose even when he had a good hand. He was fighting the tremor, which only amplified it. He began to work with a sports psychologist who used mindfulness. The psychologist reframed it, the tremor isn't the problem. Your war with the tremor is the problem. The tremor is the first arrow. Your panic about it is the second. He taught Ben to practice labeling. The next time Ben felt the tremor at the table, his internal dialogue changed. Instead of, oh no, the tremor. I'm busted, he would think, sensation. Tremor in pinky. Second arrow wanting to fire, story about being exposed. Then he would take one covert, deep breath, feeling the cards in his hand, an anchor. By not fueling the second arrow story, the tremor often subsided on its own. More importantly, his relationship to it changed. It became just another piece of data at the table. Like the cards, the chips, the opponent's faces, not a verdict on his worth. He stopped losing to his own mind. He learned to sit with the first arrow of nervous sensation without firing the second arrow of catastrophic identity. His game, and his peace, transformed. For the deeply ingrained, painful thoughts, the core beliefs like, I'm unworthy, or I'm broken, we need a more relational approach. We practice compassionate inquisition. When such a thought arises, instead of believing it or fighting it, you engage it with gentle curiosity. You ask, is this thought helpful? Does believing, I'm a failure, help me live with more kindness, courage, and clarity? Usually, the answer is no. Is this thought true? Can I know with 100% certainty it is true? Often, we can't. What is the deeper need? If the thought, I'm unlovable, is present, what is the vulnerable part of me that is aching? Is the need for connection, for reassurance, for safety? Can I offer that need to myself right now? Perhaps a hand on the heart and a whispered, "It's okay. You belong." This process, inspired by Buddhist inquiry and modern therapies like ACT, doesn't erase the thought. It changes the soil in which the thought grows from one of fear and belief to one of compassion and curiosity. The thought loses its power to define you. Finally, we must make this practice formal. We dedicate time to sitting in the observatory. This is seated meditation. It is not about achieving a blank mind. It is a gym session for your awareness muscle. Find a comfortable, alert seat. Set a timer for 5 to 10 minutes. Anchor your attention on the breath at the nostrils or the rise and fall of the belly. Inevitably, a thought will pull you away. The moment you realize you've been lost in thought, whether it's 2 seconds or 2 minutes later, gently congratulate yourself. Noticing. This is the most important part of the practice. Silently label the thought. Planning. Worrying. Then, with great tenderness, as if guiding a beloved child back home, return your attention to the breath. Repeat. For the entire session. Your success is measured not in the absence of thoughts, but in the gentle, persistent return to the anchor. Each return is a rep that strengthens your ability to rest as the sky, not get lost in the clouds. The mind will protest. It will call this boring, pointless, a waste of time. Label those thoughts too. Judging, impatience, and return. Over time, something miraculous happens. You begin to experience what is called conscious awareness, the spacious, silent knowing that is aware of thoughts, but is not itself a thought. You touch the sky. In that touching, you realize your fundamental identity is not the content of your mind, the clouds, but the aware presence that knows it all, the sky. This is not a philosophical idea, it is a direct experience. And in that experience, anxiety loses its ultimate authority. It becomes a storm pattern in your sky, intense, real, but not the totality of who you are. You are the vastness that holds the storm. And you are learning, day by day, to trust that vastness more than you trust the weather. You have learned to find stability in the body. You have built an observatory in the mind, learning to watch the weather of thought from the vantage point of the spacious sky. You are no longer automatically fused with every mental cloud that drifts by. This is profound work. Yet, there may remain a subtle, persistent sense of loneliness in that spaciousness. A feeling that while you are watching the storms, you are also separate, perhaps even a little cold, a little distant. The wisdom of the sky is clear, but where is the warmth? Where is the connection? This is where our journey turns from clarity to compassion. From vipassana, clear seeing, to metta, loving kindness. Because a peace built only on detachment is a brittle peace. The true, unshakable sanctuary is warmed by the hearth of the heart. We must now turn to the realm of emotion. We have touched on emotions as sensations, as parts of stories, as weather in the sky. But when you are in the grip of a powerful emotion, a searing rage, a crushing grief, a tidal wave of panic, it doesn't feel like weather. It feels like the very fabric of your being is being torn apart. It feels total, permanent, and utterly personal. Our standard approaches fail us here. We either suppress, "I shouldn't feel this way, just push it down," which is like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. It takes constant effort and eventually explodes back to the surface with greater force. Or we indulge, becoming the emotion, acting it out, fueling the story, which is like throwing gasoline on a fire. Buddhism offers a third way, a middle path that is neither repression nor identification. It is the path of containment and compassionate investigation. Think of yourself not as a sky now, but as a vast, deep, mountain lake. The lake is clear, resilient, and profoundly deep. Emotions are the weather systems that move over it. A hurricane of anger can whip the surface into towering, violent waves. A thick fog of sadness can make the entire lake still, opaque, and gray. A bright sun of joy can make it sparkle with a million points of light. The key insight is this: the weather affects the surface dramatically, but the depths of the lake remain unchanged. The lake's essential nature, wet, clear, deep, is not altered by any storm. You are the lake. The practice is to learn to identify with the depth, with the capacity to hold, rather than with the turbulent, changing surface conditions. Your emotions are real and powerful, but they are not the totality of who you are. They are experiences happening within the container of your awareness. The tool for working from the depth is compassionate curiosity. This is the active ingredient of metta turned inward. It is the opposite of the inner critic. When a difficult emotion arises, instead of meeting it with, "Oh no, not again. I'm so weak," you meet it with a gentle, internal whisper, "Hello. What is this? Where do you live in my body? What do you need?" You are not analyzing the emotion from a distance. You are approaching it as you would a frightened child or a wounded animal, with a soft gaze, an open heart, and a desire to understand, not to eliminate. This approach is rooted in a biological truth. Emotions are evolutionary signals, not errors. Fear signals danger. Anger signals a boundary crossed. Sadness signals loss. Anxiety signals uncertainty about the future. They are part of your body's magnificent, ancient intelligence. The suffering comes not from the signal itself, but from our resistance to feeling the signal. We shoot the messenger. Compassionate curiosity is the practice of listening to the messenger, hearing its report, and then responding with wisdom, not panic. Let's practice this with a common, difficult emotion. We'll use anxiety, but you can apply this to anger, sadness, or shame. Close your eyes. Recall a mild to moderate anxiety, a current worry. Don't choose your most traumatic memory, pick a manageable stress. Locate it in your body. Where is the headquarters of this feeling? Is it a tight ball in the chest? A flutter in the stomach? A constriction in the throat? Place your awareness there. Now, place a warm hand gently on that spot. Your touch is a direct signal of care to your nervous system. Breathe into the area. Imagine your breath creating a little more space around the sensation, not to push it away, but to give it room to be. Now, ask silently, with the tone you'd use with a friend in pain, what do you need right now? Listen. Don't think. Feel. The answer might not be words. It might be an image, a memory, a single word: safety. Rest. To be heard. Comfort. Then, if you can, offer one small, tangible thing. If the need is safety, you might visualize a protective light around you or wrap yourself in a blanket. If it's to be heard, you might whisper, "I hear you. It's okay. You can be here." This is not indulging a tantrum. This is meeting a legitimate, primal need with mature kindness. It is parenting yourself. This practice of self-compassion is not a fluffy self-help concept. It is neurologically potent. Dr. Kristin Neff's pioneering research shows that self-compassion is a far more powerful buffer against anxiety and depression than self-esteem. Why? Self-esteem is evaluative. I need to be good to feel good. It fails you when you fail. Self-compassion is relational. I am worthy of care because I am suffering. It is unconditional. It activates the mammalian caregiving system, soothing, connection, and deactivates the threat defense system, criticism, isolation. When you place a warm hand on your heart and offer kind words, you are quite literally changing your body's biochemical state. Let me share the story of Lena, a hospice nurse in Oslo. Lena spent her days holding space for the dying and their families. She was a pillar of strength, but the cumulative grief and stress began to manifest as a hollow, numb exhaustion she called the void. She wasn't sad, she felt nothing, a frightening emptiness. In therapy, she was asked to locate the void in her body. She pointed to her solar plexus. The therapist asked, if that void had a voice, what would it say? Lena was silent, then began to cry, the first tears in months. It would say, "I'm so tired. I can't hold any more." The void wasn't emptiness. It was a heart that had reached its capacity for bearing witness to pain without receiving care itself. Lena's practice became, at the end of each shift, to sit in her car, place her hands on her solar plexus, and say, "I see how much you hold. Thank you. I am here with you now. You can rest." She didn't try to fill the void or make it go away. She offered compassion to the part of her that felt emptied. Over time, the numbness receded, replaced by a tender, authentic sadness, and with it, a renewed capacity for genuine connection. She had learned to containerize her own experience with compassion, which allowed her to continue her work without being destroyed by it. But our container, our lake, is not meant to hold only our own personal weather. The logic of the heart is inherently expansive. The deepest healing and most stable peace arise when we widen the circle of our care beyond ourselves. This is the practice of metta bhavana, the cultivation of loving kindness for all beings. It is a systematic training in breaking down the illusion of separateness, the very illusion upon which anxiety thrives. Anxiety whispers, "You are alone with this threat." Loving kindness whispers back, "You are part of a vast, interconnected whole." Let us practice a full cycle of metta. Settle into a comfortable, upright posture. Begin by bringing to mind your own face. Not as a critic sees you, but with the kindness of a dear friend. See the vulnerability in your eyes, the hope, the weariness. Offer yourself these phrases, feeling the intention behind the words. May I be safe and protected from inner and outer harm. May I be healthy and strong. May I live with ease and kindness. Repeat these phrases slowly, letting them sink in. Now, bring to mind a benefactor, someone who has been unconditionally kind to you, alive or past. A parent, a teacher, a mentor, even a spiritual figure. See their face. Feel your natural gratitude. Offer them the phrases. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. Next, a beloved friend. Someone you easily care for. Feel the warmth of your connection. Offer the phrases. Now, a neutral person, someone you see regularly but have no strong feelings about, a barista, a neighbor, a coworker. See their humanity. They, too, want to be happy and avoid suffering, just like you. Offer, may you be safe, healthy, and at ease. This is the challenging, beautiful part. Bring to mind a difficult person. Start with someone who mildly irritates or challenges you, not your arch nemesis. Recognize that their difficult behavior springs from their own confusion, pain, or fear, their own suffering. Wish for them, may you be free from anger and hatred. May you find peace. Finally, expand the circle. To everyone in your building, your city, your country, this planet, all beings in all directions, animals, insects, people you love, people you struggle with, people you'll never meet. May all beings be safe. May all beings be healthy. May all beings live with ease and kindness. This practice isn't about feeling mushy love for someone you dislike. It's about recognizing the shared substrate of wanting happiness. It's a training in inclusivity, which is the direct antidote to the constriction and isolation of fear. Scientific studies show that loving-kindness meditation increases activity in brain regions associated with empathy, positive emotion, and emotional regulation, while decreasing activity in the amygdala. It literally rewires your brain for connection and resilience. From this open heart, we can revisit the two arrows with even greater depth. The first arrow is the painful emotion itself, the grief, the fear. The second arrow is our shame about having that emotion. I shouldn't be so sad. I'm too sensitive. I should be over this by now. Compassion is the conscious choice to lay down the second arrow. It is saying to the grief, your sadness is welcome here. It is a testament to your capacity to love. It is saying to the fear, your trembling is understandable. Come, sit by the fire of my awareness. You are safe here. This is how we transform the inner battlefield into a sanctuary. Your heart is not a problem to be managed or a weakness to be hardened. It is the very organ of your humanity, your capacity to connect, to feel meaning, to experience the profound beauty and pain of existence. To shut it down in the name of peace is to choose a sterile prison over a living, weather-swept garden. The practice is to build a container strong enough and compassionate enough to hold it all, the storms and the sunshine, the depths and the surface waves. You are not just the lake. You are also the wise, gentle keeper of the lake, tending to its waters with unwavering care. And from that tender, strong stewardship arises a peace that is not cold or distant, but warm, connected, and unshakably alive. You have built an inner sanctuary. You have a body that can ground you, a mind that can observe with clarity, and a heart that can hold with compassion. This is a profound internal architecture. But a sanctuary can become a prison if you never leave its walls. The ultimate test, and the ultimate purpose, of all this inner work is not to escape life, but to live it more fully, more freely, and with greater kindness. The meditation cushion, the quiet moments of breath, these are the training ground. The world, with all its chaos, demands, beauty, and irritation, is the playing field. This module is about moving from practice to praxis, the art of weaving your awakening into the very fabric of your ordinary days. The first and most radical stitch in this weaving is the commitment to do one thing at a time. In the age of distraction, this is a revolutionary act. We have been taught to worship at the altar of multitasking. We eat while working, listen to podcasts while exercising, scroll through our phones while talking to our children, plan our tomorrow while living our today. We call this efficiency. But the brain does not multitask, it task switches. And each switch carries a cognitive tax. A loss of focus, an increase in errors, and a low-grade stress that frays the nerves. Research from Stanford University found that heavy multitaskers are actually worse at filtering out irrelevant information and organizing their memories. They are more distracted, not less. When you do one thing at a time, you are not being inefficient. You are practicing unitary attention, a state the Buddhists call samadhi. You are gathering your scattered psychic energy into a single, potent beam. This is the state of flow, where you lose track of time and self-consciousness because you are fully immersed. Anxiety cannot coexist with flow. Anxiety requires a split mind, one part doing, another part critiquing, worrying, or planning. Unitary attention heals that split. So, choose one routine activity today and make it a sacred ritual of singular attention. Washing the dishes. Feel the warmth of the water, the slipperiness of the soap, the texture of the plate, the sound of the clink. Be there, completely. Driving to work. Turn off the podcast. Feel your hands on the wheel, see the sky, notice the trees you usually blur past. Eating a meal. Put away your phone. Taste each bite. Notice the colors, the smells, the textures. Chew slowly. When your mind wanders to the meeting later, gently say, "Not now. Now, I am eating." This is not about the dishes, the drive, or the food. It is about reclaiming your attention, moment by moment, from the tyranny of fragmentation. You are training your mind to inhabit life, rather than just pass through it. This practice naturally leads to the cultivation of sacred pauses. These are the conscious commas you insert into the run-on sentence of your busyness. They are the practical application of the still point in the middle of motion. You don't need 30 minutes of silence. You need 30 seconds, deliberately placed. The threshold pause, before you walk through any door, of your home, your office, your car, pause. Feel your feet. Take one conscious breath. Let the mental baggage of where you were fall away before you enter where you are going. Cross the threshold with presence. The technology pause. Before you unlock your phone or open your laptop, pause for 3 seconds. Ask, what is my intention? This simple question breaks the autopilot of reactive scrolling. The response pause. When someone says something that triggers you, criticism, a demanding question, pause. Feel the reactive impulse rise like a wave. Let the wave crest and begin to subside. Then, from the space that follows, speak. This pause is the difference between reaction and response, between regret and respect. These micro-moments are like reset buttons for your nervous system. They are how you live the first noble truth, acknowledging the stress of transition and meeting it with a moment of compassionate space. Now, we must bring our compassionate heart into the realm of relationship. This is often where our practice meets its greatest challenge. It's one thing to be patient with your own mind on a cushion, it's another to be patient with a complaining coworker or an angry partner. Here, we practice deep listening and right speech. Deep listening means listening to understand, not to reply. In your next conversation, make this your only goal. To be so fully present that you could feel what it might be like to be in the other person's skin. Listen to their words, but also to the tone, the pauses, the emotion beneath. Suspend your internal commentary, your planning of your brilliant rebuttal. Your silent, full attention is one of the greatest gifts you can give another human being. It is also a masterclass in taming your own anxious, self-referential mind. Right speech, part of the Buddha's Noble Eightfold Path, is speech that is truthful, helpful, kind, and timely. Before you speak, especially in difficulty, run your words through this filter. Is it true? Not just my opinion, but factually accurate. Is it helpful? Will it alleviate suffering or create more? Is it kind? Is it spoken with goodwill, or from irritation? Is it the right time? Am I speaking from calm, or from reactive emotion? This is not about being nice. It is about being wise. Often, the most compassionate and truthful thing is a firm no, or a clear boundary, spoken calmly. Right speech protects your peace and respects the peace of others. It prevents you from creating karmic debris you will later have to clean up with regret. I want to tell you about a community project in a dense, noisy neighborhood in Seoul, South Korea. The residents were exhausted by the constant noise, the interpersonal friction, the stress of urban life. A local mindfulness teacher didn't start a meditation hall. She started a walking meditation lane. She convinced the city to paint a single, slow-moving lane on the busiest sidewalk. The rule was simple: if you step into this lane, you walk slowly, with awareness. You feel your feet. You notice your breath. You don't use your phone. At first, people laughed. But then, a few tried it. Stressed office workers would step into the lane for 1 block. Parents with strollers. Elderly residents. They reported that those 2 minutes of deliberate slowness changed the tone of their entire day. The lane became a visual reminder, woven into the city itself, that another pace was possible. It was practice embedded in the pavement. Your life needs its own walking meditation lanes, physical or temporal spaces you designate for the conscious application of your practice. Finally, we must address the architecture of your external environment. Your nervous system is porous. It absorbs the energy of the spaces you inhabit and the people you surround yourself with. The Buddha emphasized kalyamattata, spiritual friendship. This isn't about only being with enlightened beings. It's about being intentional with your influences. Digital environment: curate your input. Unfollow social media accounts that make you feel inadequate or angry. Limit news consumption. Use app timers. Your mind is shaped by what you feed it. Physical space. Create pockets of order and beauty. A clean desk, a made bed, a candle at dinner, these are not trivial. They are signals to your brain that says, care has been taken here. This is a place of peace. Social environment: spend time with people who embody the qualities you wish to cultivate: calm, kindness, presence. Limit time with energy vampires, who thrive on drama and complaint. This isn't cruel. It's setting a boundary so you have the resources to be genuinely helpful from a place of fullness, not depletion. Your practice in the world is a constant, gentle remembering. You will forget. You will snap at a loved one, get lost in your phone, spend an hour in anxious planning. This is not failure. This is the material of the practice. The practice is in the noticing: I just spent 20 minutes lost in worry. And then, without self-flagellation, making the next choice a conscious one. Feeling the feet, taking a breath, listening deeply. The world is not an obstacle to your peace. It is the very crucible in which your peace is forged and tested and made real. Every interaction, every chore, every moment of boredom or frustration is an opportunity to apply the principles of the body, the mind, and the heart. You are not trying to create a perfect life free of difficulty. You are learning to meet an imperfect life with perfect presence. And in that meeting, the ordinary becomes sacred, the difficult becomes instructive, and life itself becomes your most profound teacher and your most constant practice. Here we are. We have traveled a significant path together. We began by discovering the still point, that triangulated sanctuary within. We courageously acknowledged the first noble truth, ending the war with life's inherent difficulties. We learned the language of the body, befriending its sensations as a wise compass. We built an observatory in the mind, learning to rest as the sky amidst the passing weather of thought. We kindled the heart's warmth, learning to hold all emotions in the deep, compassionate lake of our being. And we took this inner architecture out into the world, weaving mindfulness into the very fabric of our daily actions. Now, we arrive at the destination that was never a place, but a recognition. The final piece is not another technique, but an understanding that integrates all we have learned into a single, unshakable knowing. This is the realization of what I call the unshakable ground. It is the direct experience of what you truly are, beneath all the layers of doing, thinking, and feeling. It is the culmination of the Buddhist path, the insights into anicca, impermanence, dukkha, unsatisfactoriness, and anatta, not self, the three marks of existence. To see these clearly is to come home, finally and irrevocably, to your true nature. Let's revisit these marks, not as philosophy, but as the lived truth of your present moment experience. First, anicca, impermanence. Look at your own hand. See it not as a static object, but as a process. The cells you see are dying and being replaced as you look. The sensations in it are flickering and changing. The thoughts about your hand come and go. The very light illuminating it is in constant flux. Everything in your experience, sights, sounds, feelings, thoughts, even this sense of I, is rising and passing away with breathtaking speed. Your anxiety is not a permanent state, it is a series of momentary sensations and thoughts, each one appearing and vanishing. The joy you felt yesterday has passed. The peace you may feel right now will change. Everything that has a beginning has an end. This is not a tragedy, it is the most fundamental law of the universe. It is the great liberator. It means no painful state lasts forever. It means you can stop the exhausting attempt to freeze the pleasant and avoid the unpleasant. You can relax into the flow. When you fully internalize impermanence, you stop building your house on the riverbank and learn to live comfortably in the boat, flowing with the current. Second, dukkha, unsatisfactoriness. Suffering arises precisely when we struggle against impermanence. When we cling to a pleasant feeling, wanting it to last, we suffer as it fades. When we resist an unpleasant feeling, wanting it to leave, we suffer as it persists. Dukkha is the friction of craving for things to be other than they are. It's the mental argument with reality, this shouldn't be happening. That argument is the source of our deepest anguish. The first noble truth asked you to acknowledge this suffering. Now, the third noble truth reveals its cessation is possible. Not by changing reality, but by releasing the craving that creates the friction. Peace is what remains when you stop arguing with what is. Third, and most profound, anatta, not self. This is the insight that changes everything. We have spent a lifetime building a solid sense of me, my personality, my memories, my accomplishments, my failures, my anxieties, my body. We believe this collection is a permanent, separate, independent entity called self. Anatta is the direct seeing that this self is a mirage. Look closely. Can you find a solid, unchanging you anywhere in your experience? Is your body you? It changes constantly, and you can observe its sensations. The observer cannot be the observed. Are your feelings you? They come and go like weather. You can witness anger arise. Are you the anger, or the awareness of the anger? Are your thoughts you? They arise uninvited, chatter, and fade. You can listen to them. Are you the thought, or the space in which the thought is heard? Are your perceptions and memories you? They are stored information, flickering on and off. What you fundamentally are is the awareness in which the body, feelings, thoughts, and perceptions all appear and disappear. You are the conscious space, not the objects within the space. You are the screen, not the movie. You are the sky, not the clouds. This aware presence has no shape, no age, no story. It is simply knowing. It is the unshakable ground itself. It was there when you were a child, it is here now as you listen, and it will be there in your last moment. It is untouched by any of the content of your life. Anxiety is a storm in the sky of your awareness. But the sky is not anxious. The sky is not damaged by the storm. The sky simply is. Realizing this, not intellectually, but in the marrow of your being, is homecoming. It is the end of seeking, because you realize what you have been seeking has been here all along, as the seeker itself. All the practices, the pause, the body scan, the labeling, the loving kindness, were not about creating this awareness. They were about clearing away the clouds of identification and habit so you could recognize the sky that was already, and always, perfectly clear. So, what does it mean to abide as this unshakable ground? It does not mean you become a passive, unfeeling zombie. Quite the opposite. You become more fully alive, more vividly human, because you are no longer afraid of your own humanity. You feel joy more completely because you don't cling to it. You feel grief more authentically because you don't resist it. You act in the world with greater clarity and compassion because you are no longer acting from a small, frightened, separate self, but from the wisdom of the whole. Your life becomes a divine play, a lila. You play your roles, parent, worker, friend, citizen, with full engagement, but you no longer confuse the costume for the actor. You know you are the awareness playing the part. This brings a profound lightness and freedom to your endeavors. You can care deeply without attachment. You can work hard without burnout, because your essential worth is not on the line. You can love without the fear of loss, because the love itself emanates from the timeless part of you, not from a fragile ego seeking completion. This is not a one-time enlightenment experience that then renders life perfect. It is a deepening orientation. Some days you will feel utterly grounded as this awareness. Other days, you will forget completely and become lost in the drama of a thought, a conflict, a fear. The practice, now, is the practice of remembering. It is the gentlest, most important instruction. Oh, I've forgotten. I am not this worry. I am not this anger. I am the awareness knowing this. And in that remembering, you instantly return home. No journey required. Each return strengthens the knowing. I want to leave you with a final story, a Zen parable. A young fish swims up to an older fish and asks, "Excuse me, I keep hearing about this thing called the ocean. It's supposed to be all around us. Can you tell me, what is the ocean? Where can I find it?" The older fish smiles and says, "My dear child, you are in the ocean right now. It is not somewhere else. It is the very medium in which you live, and move, and have your being. You are made of it. You have never been apart from it for a single moment. Your search for peace, for an end to anxiety, has been the young fish's search. You have been swimming through the ocean of aware presence your whole life, seeking it elsewhere. In achievements, in relationships, in spiritual experiences, in the perfect state of mind. This path has been about helping you realize, you are the ocean. The anxiety, the thoughts, the joys, the sorrows, these are just waves and currents within you. They are not you. You are the vast, silent, boundless depth that holds it all. So, as we end our formal time together, I offer you the Buddha's final, ultimate instruction: be a lamp unto yourselves. Be your own refuge. Take no other refuge. The lamp is your own aware presence. It has always been lit. The refuge is this unshakable ground of being. It has never been lost. Walk forward now, not as someone who needs to become peaceful, but as the very embodiment of peace, temporarily experiencing the weather of human life. Meet your anxiety not as an enemy to destroy, but as a wave on your own vast ocean. Meet your joy not as a possession to hold, but as a sunlight sparkling on your surface. Your practice is now your life. And your life is now your practice. It is all the same. Thank you for walking this path of remembrance. Go in peace. Live in awareness. And may the knowing of your true nature be a blessing to you and to all beings whose lives you touch. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. May your heart be at peace, knowing it has always been home.